All right, Marfoogle TV and news going live in 3, 2. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Going into some very alarming scenarios here, and one of them, again, could have been a whole lot worse if the world didn't divest earlier. Again, they said that half the internet went down, and there's a reason that half the internet went down. I'll show you here. They again, AWS or Amazon Web Services went down, which provides the cloud services for about half the internet. Now, this was actually a lot more before a massive outage years ago where almost all of the internet was using AWS. And it was very lucky that that outage happened back then because the world said, hey, we can't throw all of our eggs in one basket. And they divested and went with companies like Azure and others. So again, Oracle, Azure, and others ended up picking up and doing these services. If not, something like this could have knocked out the entire internet. Again, Amazon said the underlying issue has been, quote, fully mitigated, adding that the most operations are succeeding normally now. However, the outage continues to wreak havoc around the globe, with millions of customers still experiencing issues accessing their favorite sites. The problem lies with Amazon Web Services, a cloud computing service that powers much of the infrastructure behind many websites. The outage also affected popular Amazon services, obviously Amazon.com, Ring, Prime Video. The issues began shortly after 3 a.m. Eastern, and then, of course, with more than 6,000 reports of affected U.S. customers. Now, when they say 6,000 customers or 1,600 in the U.K., those are the people that actually went to downdetector.com and made a report. So that's actually a very high number for reports, as far as usually they have very few people that actually go and take the time to make the report. But again, this was a massive outage, and they couldn't rule out at the time a cyber attack. Now, the reason why this is important is if they are testing to take down our internet, they would be testing to take down this half, then the other half, then the other quarter. And now I'll be looking for Azure and Oracle to be having massive outages as well. If that happens, then that's a very scary thing, because that would be testing to take down our internet in full. So yeah, very crazy. And in the same time frame, we've got, of course, we're going to talk about the president and a possible attempt on his life, or at least the setup for one, in just a second. Before that, I do want to remind you guys, make sure to go check out marfooglenews.com/EMP, and make sure to, of course, check out all the devices. They make one for pretty much everything that you want to keep protected against an electromagnetic pulse attack and a CME, a Carrington level event from the sun. They make ones for your cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, generators, cars, the smaller vehicle ones, and then, of course, the solar generator versions. They even make one for your Starlinks and for your ham radios. If you get one wired into your home, everything within 250 linear feet will be protected. It turns basically your whole home into a super surge protector. This is not something you can buy from the store. This is the same company and tech that is working with agencies like Department of Homeland Security, Department of War, and of course FBI, Air Force, and many others. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Code MARF will get you $50 off per device, and of course help our channel out at the same time. We're independent. All of our affiliates, whether you like seeing these affiliates or not, are ones that we believe in. We've been with the same ones for years because we believe that these are our suggestions for an actual event that may come. All right, and then let's bring my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Fugel fam. I'm doing just fine.
So let's talk about the FAA and what's going on here.
Yeah, government shutdown. It's 20 days in, I believe. And of course, the Federal Aviation Administration is also affected by that with a large absence of air traffic controllers across the country. It's causing thousands of flight delays. It's continuing to happen. So about 7,800 flights within or into and out of the U.S. were delayed Sunday, according to FlightAware. More than 1,000 flights have been delayed so far on Monday. So they're continuing to see this struggle with what's happening with the FAA traffic in all the major airports, as well as the transportation around America, because of I guess they're blaming the government shutdown on it, but they're also saying there's a reduction in the workforce there of FAA availability.
Yeah, and this is something that everyone predicted that was going to happen, because obviously when you shut down the government, you have government jobs that are being furloughed or even laid off. In this case, it was very odd because a lot of jobs actually got laid off and not furloughed, so they aren't coming back. So we'll see how this ends up going. But 20 days into the shutdown, I'm sure many people are asking what the hell is going on. What is going to happen? Is somebody going to cave, and is the government going to open back up soon? And then as the FBI investigates a hunting stand. Now, this is kind of odd, and I have some ideas what this could be other than somebody trying to take out the president, but it is very, very odd. They said that there was a hunting stand with a sight line to Trump's Air Force One exit area at Palm Beach Airport. Now, one thing is this could have been so I don't know how. I would have to look deeper into when this airport was made, how long it's been there. I wonder if anybody has seen this thing for years. Was this a kid's was this a tree house 40 years ago and there's just a board left, there? Is this somebody that watches planes? I have a friend that actually camps out, and he's done this for like 15 years. He is a plane spotter. It's kind of like a train spotter. He's obsessed with planes. He's been making models since we were in third grade. He loves watching all of the planes come into the airports and stuff. He basically hangs out in South Park and hangs out at the park and watches all the planes and sees which ones he can spot. So, you have people like that, and he's got a couple spots, but most of his are just like sitting at a public park and watching them come in. So I wonder if something like that could be the thing, and this has been something that's been there for years, and maybe the guy posts up so he can see him. Probably not, though, right? It looks like a hunting blind or a hide, depending on where you are and what you call it. But to me, it almost looks like a former treehouse or something. Was this, I know where I live, the house 30 years ago, there was nothing but forest, right? A lot of people that ended up purchasing their house 40, 50, 60 years ago, they might have been the first ones in the neighborhood, and something like this wouldn't be crazy to see, and who's going to go up there and take it down? Because there was nobody in it, right? There was nobody in the actual suspected hide, but it had a perfect lineup with Air Force One. And one other thing to think about is, are they this on edge right now? Obviously, it's kind of a 180 from what they were when the day that he almost got taken out. It's like they didn't check the one roof across the street. Kind of crazy. As far as the gentleman who is actually still on trial, in fact, on this article, it gives an update down at the bottom, essentially about the gentleman who's now still in trial and tried to take himself out in court, and it was very dramatic. That tried to take him out on the golf course as the second attempt. Remember, right after he got, that attempt at the rally, he ended up having that guy posted up with a rifle at the golf course. Then they started having robot dogs walk around Mar-a-Lago. No joke. So, is this something that, our president is at in this kind of risk? I would say so. If they're pointing out things like this now, I mean, heck, they didn't spot a freaking guy on a roof or even check a roof across the way, 160 meters away. Now they're looking at every little structure in the trees. Maybe they've actually stepped up their game at Secret Service. I don't know. Dex, did you think about, anything this is kind of an alarming time considering all of the things that we're going to be talking about on our next show.
Yeah, I mean, at least the way they're framing it, the fact that it has a direct line of sight to right where he exits the plane is certainly suspicious until there's any other evidence that says who put it there, how long it's been there, what it's been used for, anything else. It's sort of up in the air at the moment, but it's definitely, I'm glad they found it, because you never know who may be perched there and if they were trying to do harm to our president. So that would not be a good event to go down, given the state of chaos we've had in this country this year. It's not going to be a pretty event if that ever happens.
And how it's set up is the Air Force One pulls in and does a release like this where the president comes out. They're saying that the lineup was directly lined up for if when it stopped and it came to a stop and the president came out, that this blind would have been able to take a pot shot right at the president. Now, if it was something like that, I wouldn't think, and if the guy wasn't there, I would think that this would be a coordinated event. If that was a blind meant to take him out, then they sniffed something or they knew intelligence saw it and the guy didn't show up. Because, something like this, we have to obviously ask the question, all of these other attempts, there was weird connections with the second guy, the first person, not a lot of sense made. It was very odd that they just turned a blind eye to that only roof, right? So you wonder how high this goes up as far as, the possibilities of trying to take him out. So if something like this, where they sniffed something wrong last second, the guy didn't go up there, that would be somebody on the inside. So there's a lot of questions.
Well, and there is, I guess, a safety zone around an airport and an FAA safety zone that would prohibit discharging of weapons. I'm assuming the distance is within that safety zone. Is also not deer hunting anywhere near that area. There is out on the western edge of the county in Palm Beach County. There's some hunting land, but it's not right there up against the airport as far as I know. But I don't live there, so somebody can correct me.
Yeah, and again, neither one of us is familiar with this area. We're not experts on this airport. So if you know the full scoop on this, let us know in the comments down below. And then make sure to follow us on our next show. We're going to be talking about how China is stealing your DNA to make super soldiers. No joke. We're going to talk about a lot of crazy things. And, of course, the president is essentially doing another 180 on the Ukraine conflict. And we're going to talk about what that is in just a moment. So stay there in the chat if you are already there. You'll be ported automatically over to our next show. If you are watching the replay, all you have to do is click here. We'll see you in just a minute. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.